This Monday, I'm probably going to talk about the MCU and the fact that there seem to be a lot of fans who do this thing I don't really understand, which is begging for more installments after just getting a new one. Or I'll explain it more on Monday. I think it'll be an interesting topic because I did enjoy the DCEU discussion that took place last month, even though that started to kind of morph into an MCU discussion, but. We'll see what happens. I've got this new romance video. I've written the script for it. I've done the audio. I just have to edit it. And it's about the I word and how the term was originally supposed to mean men that are involuntarily single, that operate as part of a subculture, like as part of a group. And then it morphed into meaning men that are single but don't want to be, just automatically, right? Like if you're single at any point ever, you're part of this group, right? That was the second definition. Then when you go on Twitter, people use it to call men they don't like that word. And I actually have some screenshots in the video where there are like people are calling married men involuntarily single. So I said the internet has devolved into, I already knew people online didn't really stick to their own beliefs, but when a word that's supposed to be an insult toward people who are single, or men who are single rather, uh, that you believe are part of some group is now shifted to mean men who say something you don't agree with, I find it hilarious. So I'll be putting that up this week probably. I was planning on dropping it this week, but like I said, uh, just stuff gets in the way, and I got too tired. Like if I started editing right now, like after I finish the stream, I probably would have it up tomorrow or Monday. And usually the reason I'll put up any edited videos on Monday ever is because I do a stream on Monday. So it's kind of, I always think that if you put up two things that are not, where one's long and one's kind of long or a little bit long, people will not watch it. So I just leave it for Tuesday or some later point in the week. Monday is going to be really exciting because a lot of people do things I don't understand. They act in ways that just confuse me. I'm just sitting there scratching my head, like, really? Oh, hi, non-binary. Yeah, in the video, I have just as an example, because in the video, I make the point of how a lot of times when you don't get your interest reciprocated by a woman, they do things that might lead you to believe they reciprocate, and then it's just another cruel joke. And I give the example of how there was a woman who, in these screenshots I show in the video, is like saying she wants to speak to me and it admits that I have been very patient and blah 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 blah. But then every time you speak to her, you have to initiate the dialogue, meaning she never tries to speak to you, just because she wants to. And every time this person does her little apology tour, she never actually tries to improve on the circumstances or behavior that she exhibits. So if I wanted to speak to someone, um, and every time I was told by that person that they were going to stop speaking to me, that they're tired of like me not responding or reciprocating, and I wanted the person to believe that I want to speak to them, I would actually try to make an effort, like an actual effort where something would materialize. Uh, and if I didn't do that, I really would not be surprised if the person just stopped trying to talk to me. Because again, you're initiating all of your dialogues with this person. They keep doing this and talk about, oh, I want to speak to you every time you say, hey, we can end this. I don't need to sit here and keep wasting my time. So, you just have to read between the lines. People say one thing and do the other. Me and this other person before this stream started had a conversation where we were talking about how Dragon Ball on YouTube is just one of the most aggravating things ever, because a lot of times people will tell you need to put effort in your video, and then you'll do a video where you write a script and edit it and put little pictures in it, and then you'll get maybe 40, 50, 60 views. And I was like, yeah, that's a little too extraneous for the view count. And like I said, I still remember the one person came out and talking about, I can't believe you would be upset that this video you spent days trying to make didn't get as many views as you would like. I'm like, idiot, you can go on this entire website. Unless videos are unlisted or private, people are trying to get views on them. Like nobody puts up a video and they're like, oh man, this got more views than I would have wanted it to. You never see that. So I said people kill me. Just like the weird inflections that they make, like you should feel bad for wanting your video to be seen by the most people it possibly can. It's like, well, I like the video. I would like to see people see it. I didn't realize that was such a horrendous thing. But I said before that the internet has this weird hobby or this tendency to make normal things seem like bad or weird or strange. Like I had a person who told me that wanting to get a date because you want to eventually have a family and have children and whatnot was a weird thing. Like that was somehow a strange thing, even though there are literally millions of people who've had children. So like I couldn't quantify that, and the person started backflipping after I said that. Gotta love the red herring that so many individuals exhibit. I told you ever since that thing happened 3 years ago with the broad that said I was too good for her and still rejected me, it's been like a literal just conundrum with women. Like the chick conundrum should be the name of like a movie they make about trying to get a girlfriend and having all of them pretend that they like you and then do something else. Because like I kept trying to explain, somebody might say, oh, that just happened once, but in general, you will not have women approach you. It just doesn't happen. It's always the men going out and trying to initiate something. And I've never seen one since then or before that who said, you are too good for me. It's never happened other than that one instance. And it all led to the same result. It's like you asked me all these personal questions. Like I'm getting asked about at the time I was in school, what do you want to major in? What career do you want? I'm like, you ask all this stuff, you get all your answers too, by the way, just to do the exact same thing. Like I don't, that's why I said that this chick stuff is just a big waste of time, because there's a lot of things that these people want. And then even when you do the things they want, you're still not good enough. And like I said, when you come online, there's this, vilifying that people do on here where, you have to look this way and sound this way and all this other trash that they type. Because they're really desperate to make sure that nobody ever criticizes the woman for anything ever. So you have to be the piece of trash according to them. It's a really sad website. But like I said, that's why I moved away from I guess responding. Like unless it's on a stream, I don't respond to the comment section. Because people don't listen anyway. There was one YouTuber who actually said, if you can't understand what I'm saying in a video, there's no point in me typing anything to you, because the video is always more lengthy than whatever I would type. And a lot of times your tone can be misconstrued when you type something. Like you don't know if someone's happy or angry when they say it. So he was inferring that it is always a waste of time for someone to elaborate on what they said in the video. Yeah, Megumi, like, what was the point of that? Like, imagine you have some woman, she says you're too good for her. She's asking you all these questions about what you want to do with your life. You answer all of them. And then after saying that she's excited for you to hear her voice, a couple of days later, she's thrown in the towel with no explanation. I thought we weren't good for each other for many reasons. I can't list any, but goodbye forever. Like, what did that accomplish besides being a waste of my time? 3 weeks of red herring. But like I said, people, for whatever reason, think you're supposed to enjoy that. You're supposed to want to keep that happen to continue doing a fruitless venture such as talking to a bunch of chicks that don't like you. Even if they say they do, they still do things that are antithetical to someone. Like there's no way in hell that some woman who I thought was too good for me, if she signaled that she wanted to go on a date, I wouldn't go. Like it just wouldn't happen. Magumi, imagine if let me think of an example. Just any actress that you find attractive, right? You know, she's famous, she's got money more often than not, and you're like, oh, this person is too good for me, and then you say that to her, it's like, oh no, you're fine, I'm interested. Would you really be like, no, you're too good for me, I don't think this will work out, or would you go, yeah? That's how you know that like the stuff chicks say you can't even take seriously. Because anytime I ask somebody that question, they always say that if someone they supposedly thought was too good for them reciprocated, they would go for it. No, they kill me with that. Like I said, you'll see in the video. That's what I love about the edited videos. I always have little screenshots. The I word, right? You've seen people type that on my channel before. I have multiple screenshots showing that people will call someone involuntarily celibate even if they're married. And I can't wait to make this video because it's going to show all like just how that word means nothing. It's literally a romance slur toward men that like you don't agree with. Like, oh, this man said something I don't like. He's part of this group. That's why the video is called "Romance the New N Word" because the I word is the new N word. Some people say it's a term of endearment. Some people call themselves it, but it still is considered an offensive thing to be known as. And you know it's offensive because people online call other people they don't like that word all the time. But you need to be incentivized by at least something to keep on making attempts. Yeah, remember what that guy said, the juice is not worth the squeeze. All of these attempts for nothing. Like again, it would be different if let's say you approach 10 women and maybe 2 of them went on a date, right? And then one of them maybe went on multiple dates and then you both resolved to just not continue with it. Was it irrevocable differences? You know, at least then that would be something, right? But it's year after year of just talking to all of these different women for sometimes weeks or months, having them gas you up. Oh my God, I have a connection with you, and you're so smart, and you're so funny, and blah 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 blah, blah, blah just for nothing to get the same result over and over. Like I said, you would get the same result because of how demented a lot of these women are from one who says she finds you attractive that you would get from one who calls you ugly. I just think of that as somewhat nice way of rejecting someone without even elaborating why they don't want to accept you. Well, I mean, I don't think they put much thought into most of their rejections. Like you even had this one person say that, well, we'll get to her later, not in this stream, but on another video, say that supposedly your personality, like your personality as a man, right? Because chicks always like to pretend that it's the men who only are into, you know, being attracted to somebody for the way they look. She said that your personality as a man matters, just like it always has. But it's a long-term thing because people are meeting each other on dating apps, and if they don't find you attractive, they're not going to speak to you. But if they do find you attractive, then you as a person will then matter. And I'm like, dingbat, that for you to believe that infers that every single time a man talks to a woman in the like modern era, it's on the computer. Or it's on a dating app. And you know that's BS because I even mentioned this on my last stream. I have proof to show that there was a woman on Reddit who, without posting a picture of herself, right? Men didn't see what she looked like, but just all she said is, "This is my age. This is where I live. Here's my number." Had not 1, not 5, not 10, not 20, not 30, not 40, but 50 men approach her trying to talk to her without even seeing what she looked like. Think how insane this is, right? To maybe get one woman to like, because we're not even talking about a date anymore. To maybe get a couple of women to possibly approach you ever, you have to go to the gym and own all this money. But for a woman to get a bunch of men to approach her, she doesn't have to post a picture of herself, doesn't have to own anything. She just has to identify where she is, how old she is, and put her number on this stupid website. And nobody thinks that this is an unfair system that is so heavily skewed in favor of the broad that you would not want to participate in it. Like I said, I believe, and you can get mad at me, unless I was world famous, like I was in some billion-dollar movies, I don't think I would see 50 women approach me over the course of my entire lifetime. I'm not saying that to be negative. I'm realistic. Megumi, no, they didn't even see what she looked like. Like, listen, I can understand if it's somebody that is, again, some actress, right? Whole bunch of men. Oh my God, you're so hot. But like, no picture of her, just her age, her number, and what state she's in. A boatload of. That's another video I want to do. That like the many options that they have, because that's I have proof that there's multiple women I've encountered that have like. Okay, people always like to say, oh, not all women have a bunch of men try to talk to them, but a lot of them do. And I can recall, and I have screenshots of two of these separate instances, but I can recall at least 5 or 6 different times a woman indicated she had multiple men all trying to talk to her. And again, sometimes I even shown a picture of herself. Completely insane just because of the gender was specified as, oh, like Megumi on that website, it was 30, it was like 30 something female, male, we call female for male, whatever. No pictures, just what state she's in, how old she is, and her gender, and all in the inbox. This guy said that the men in her inbox were like sardines in the can. That's that's the kind of stuff that makes me not want to talk to any women ever, just because, like, what's the point? I mean, think about it. If one who they don't even know what she looks like and get that many men to talk to her, just whatever. I already explained why that is insane. And again, if you don't believe me, don't worry. The video is coming. We have the screenshot. And that's the thing. She sent me screenshots of the of like the different men that were sending. Like, I was blown away. Again, anytime you break down that like just what happened with that particular woman, it just like it's more proof of how insane and ridiculous this stuff has gotten. Like, people act like women are an endangered species, like there's only 5 of them in the whole world for 50 men. Oh my God. Megumi, imagine if you put that you were, I don't know, 25 or something on on Reddit, and you just said you're a man and you live in Britain, and then you had 40 chicks trying, like, it would never happen. It would never occur. Like, literally, the men for women section on Reddit is a barren wasteland. You don't see any women on there trying to talk to a man. You see a bunch of men on there trying to talk to a woman, though. Oh my God. Man, the internet is such it is a really depressing place. From that point, I definitely wouldn't be convinced in trying to get a chick to be interested in talk. Like, you're competing with half 100 guys for this one person to talk to you. And look, in the video, I was going to talk about how, if, like, again, let's play flip genders, right? Let's say, I'm not going to mention Megumi specifically in the video. Let's say Megumi had 15 women trying to talk to him, right? And one of the women that he's talking to finds out he has 14 other women talking to him. Can you really blame her if she looks at him talking to over a dozen other chicks and says, this might not be something I can stand out in? I remember one time when I was in, I think 8th or 9th grade, my father said, like, something to the effect of, oh, well, if you think a girl is attractive, there's probably some other guy that does too. It's like, yeah, but this is not just a guy. This is a little militia of men all interested in one broad. And like I said, I don't understand it, because this is not a famous woman. This is not someone who they got to see what she looked like and she was so breathtakingly beautiful. It's just it's literally just an age, the gender, and where she lives and a phone number, and that's enough to just, oh my God. That is so disillusioning. I don't even I'm seriously I'm very it's tiring when you know that people get this much attention just because of their gender. I guarantee if that was a 35-year-old man, nobody would say anything to him, or 34, whatever, 33. Like if a guy put up male for female and then 30 something and then he lives in New York, you wouldn't see it. It wouldn't happen. It would never occur. And like I said, I truly believe I could have 1 million subscribers on this website, like just be a supposed e-celebrity or be an actor in movies, and I would not have 50 women try to get with me approach me over the course of my lifetime, let alone in a rapid succession of a couple of days. I don't believe it. And you can say that's lacking confidence, but like I said, women don't on YouTube admit they don't approach men. Not all of them. Again, I have to keep saying that because people like to pretend that individuals don't speak in generalities. Everybody likes to grandstand. He said all women do this. No, I didn't. When you put it like that, it really is mind-blowing. Yeah, that's why I said a lot of times you hear these things and you might not think about it, so somebody else has to just kind of say, hey, consider this, consider that. And then the more stuff you think about and the more things you consider, it becomes more depressing because you realize that just a woman with this tiny amount of stuff known about her gets all of these men interested in her. And then you might actually do these things that people say you're supposed to do. And you still, even if you're able to get a date, it won't be some woman that goes up and says, oh my God, Megumi, I was blown away. I was so taken aback when I saw your abs. I just had to speak to you. It won't be that. You have to go out and approach all these random chicks and then hope that one of them says yes. And then if it's a woman, all she has to do is say how old she is and her phone number and then get 50 men to come around her. Like they're literally like flies on dog feces just to talk to one woman. That's why I say I don't believe in this stuff. I really don't. Because there are a lot of factors when you're trying to get with someone that are out of your control. And one of those factors is competition. You can't, even if you do everything that a woman supposedly likes, you still can't control who else she talks to or if she talks to anybody else. Or the number of people that she talks to. Like that one that I showed, there's a person that left a comment on the video where I was talking about the one that said I was too good for her. And he mentioned how a lot of times when they do stuff like that, where they have these like quick out of nowhere swerves to going from I'm so into you to goodbye forever. A lot of times it's because they've chosen some other man in their rotation over you. It's like, I believe it. I truly believe that. I have no reason to dispute his claim. Because Megumi, you got to remember that the more men she talks to, see, people always pretend like if you do the gym thing, if you do the money thing, you're going to be the only person that comes around her and has that stuff. But the more men she speaks to, the more diverse they might be. And then, the harder it is for you to stand out. Like Megumi, are you egotistical enough to say that you're going to stand out and be so much different from 50 other men? No matter how well you articulate these arguments, those computer clowns will still smugly write you off as entitled. Yeah, but like I said, they call people those terms because they can't. It's the same reason they talk trash about the way I look. They can't dispute any of the points. Out of all the nasty comments that have been written to me on this website by courtesy of me talking about this topic, I can count on one hand the number of people who didn't agree with me and actually try to address what I was saying. And both of them still cut out little pieces. Imagine if movie reviews were like that. Hey guys, I sat through this 2-hour movie. There's this one part I don't like, and they picked that little 2 or 3 minute clip. Am I really expected to sit here for an hour? Yeah. If you disagree with this video and the message so much, you're expected to respond to all the things you supposedly disagree with. It's not really that difficult. And like I said, when I had the one woman that agreed to like be a couple or whatever, I wish I had the screenshot. She was the nicest chick you could ever meet. She would ask you how you were doing. She would tell you about her day sometimes, and just it was a pleasant dialogue. But of course, once you agree to become a couple, it's like she got possessed by I don't know, some kind of other character. Like it was two different people. She transformed. She went from this caring person that was so worried about you and whatnot to and who liked you for you to now begging you for money every day for a week until you have to block her number. Like I said, that was the most anticlimactic thing I've ever seen because for 5 years, from the first time I got rejected when I was in seventh grade in 2011 to when that happened in 2016, everybody would say, "Oh my God, yeah, when you get in a relationship, it's so amazing, and you like the person, and you have fun with them, and you get to do all this sexual crap, and yeah." And then it was none of that. It was just person begs you for money, and they might speak nice to you if you acquiesce. Again, I don't sit on here and try to glamorize romantic relationships like a lot of people online do, where they try to say that getting with someone automatically makes everybody's life better. I just because again, there's a lot of disgusting stuff that men or women can do to another person if they're in a romantic relation crap with them. Just like the guy that paid for the dingbat with the baby storage unit. He lost money. He got cheated on. He got cursed out. And now he has a kid that he can't afford. How did he win? How did being with her leave him any better off? Nobody's been able to answer that for me. And again, the only reason he put up with her trash, as I'd call it, is because he believed if he didn't stay with her, if he didn't get her to stay with him, he would never have somebody approach him ever again. Or rather, excuse me, he would never have someone accept his wants and become a couple with him ever again. I just don't bother with dating at all. I have a general contempt for human beings anyway. Well, again, you have a general contempt for a lot of things. I still remember your comment from Monday where you said the whole MCU except Civil War was bad or something. I was like, you're talking about over 20 movies. You got to be specific. That's a really bold claim to make about all these films. I think this stuff I had in the washing machine is done. I heard a little noise. Yeah, I was just saying that it's really sad that we have all of these adults on the internet and they act like children. Like they say things that are below the intellect of my little brother. Like they really make me believe that it's like there's a genuine effort by people to not understand what somebody is talking about. Because if I were to sit here and really think about it, and it's not hyperbole, the majority of my detractors don't actually address the things that I say. They either talk trash about the way I look, they give unsolicited advice, which usually is, still more trash talking about appearance, or they make nasty, weird assumptions. They write fan fiction. Oh, you probably met women in real life that approached you, but you turned them down because you thought they were too ugly. It's like, what? No way of knowing if I've turned down anybody ever, but they'll just say that anyway because it makes them feel better about my circumstance. And again, that's a really disgusting message to send to someone. Oh, because you turned down this one person or these two people, nobody ever in your entire life will like you back for who you are. If anyone agrees to go on a date, that's because they want to get something out of you. You can never, if you don't go on a date with these two people or get with these two people or this one person, there's no hope for you. Now, that's a really nice message to send to somebody. But again, I'm the one who's supposed to be pessimistic. Ironically enough. Just like what that one guy did in one of your live streams, saying you have to work on yourself and the woman will come to you. Yeah. Again, women don't generally approach men. That isn't something that we all know about. They don't take agency when they are, like, chicks are attracted to a whole bunch of men that they just don't say anything to. I even had one broad who I responded to on my video, and she was like trying to say I was attracted. She's like, "Oh, I didn't know that you would you would actually say something." It's like, yeah, but I'm the one who lacks confidence, right? He responded to his silly comment. Oh, are you? Is that the one that was talking about doing 500 push-ups a day and 3 miles a week and whatnot? It's stupid. Yeah, I've been waiting to confront James for a while, so I'm glad he showed up. He said his favorite Superman storyline was Death of Superman because he thought the character was finally done being used after 50 years of publication. He said his favorite Batman story was Batman RIP because he thought Bruce Wayne was finally terminated. He said his favorite Spider-Man story was the Clone Saga because Ben Reilly got to take over and Peter was finally removed as Spider-Man. So he has this real contempt for superheroes. Again, I've met people that exercise, and none of them do that. No, like, I don't know anyone who does more than a couple of dozens of push-ups a day, let alone 100 or 500. But a lot of those guys are ridiculous. I mean, it's like you have a guy who comes on talking about going to the gym and like staying healthy. I'm like, you don't even know what shape I'm in. Are you my physician? Like, that's my thing. Why do people online act like they're these experts on you? It's so weird. I watched a video of you and I've been analyzing your body, which is totally what a straight man would do to another man. There's nothing homoerotic about me measuring the width and circumference of your behind and sides and chest. Like, what's wrong with people? And like I said, if they were doing this to women, I would completely understand. Like, if they took a video of a woman and paused and they were like, "Oh my God, she's so hot," because I know some men do that. Like, I completely understand. But they're doing that to another man and claiming to be straight. And look, I used to watch the romance content of other people that would like get on camera. Not a single time when I was watching those videos, like going, "I don't think this man is pretty enough to get with the woman," because I'm not over here analyzing the appearances of other men. Like, the closest you'll get me to do that is maybe if I'm like drawing some real life person, but that's usually just me like looking at a picture and being like, okay, this person's nose is like this, their eyes are shaped like that. It's insane. Imagine an anime where the main character gets advice from how to get girls, and the dude starts working out, and after the training montage, a beautiful woman comes down from the heavens. Well, like I said, they tell you to do all this stuff, but see, this is the problem. This is why you're inherently set up to fail. They don't know what these women look like. So imagine doing all this exercising for a woman that is 300 pounds. Not to say that automatically she would be, but oh my God. Hello? Can I call you back? No, he didn't answer. But waiting for that person to call me all day and then they interrupt my stream. But anyways, like I was saying, the reason men are set up to fail is that people tell you do all this improvement on the way you look, but they never factor in what the woman looks like. And they assume that all of the women that will like either be agreeing to go on a date with you or that you will find attractive are all in shape and they're all, I'm talking about. Like when they say the money thing, right? Should you really need to have $1 million or 100,000, whatever the hell, to get with a random broad that doesn't have a pot to piss in? And again, that doesn't mean every single woman is poor or destitute or whatever. It just means that when you have such high standards for the man and no standards for the woman, you're going to end up with these broken relationships that are already set up to fail. Because if the woman doesn't have anything and the man has everything, she's probably going to ask him to pay for her crap, just like what happened with the dingbat with the baby. And do you really want to do that? He just suddenly gets his own harem of women. Now, these women have harems of men. Like, I even said it during the video, like, I don't want to be part of your reverse gender harem. Remember, it's supposed to be like a guy with a bunch of chicks swooning around him. Instead, it's a woman with like 20 or 10 or however many guys just, oh my God, yeah. Which essentially means it'll be a one-sided relationship. Yeah. I mean, all of these relationships are, even the ones that aren't romantic. Look at the thing with the one I told you about with the broad that keeps on saying, "Oh, I want to speak to you, and you've been so considerate," and blah 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 blah. But then won't have a phone call after she schedules to have one, not once, not twice, but 6 times. Every time you speak to her, you have to initiate dialogue. She never starts it with you. I mean, the person says one thing and then they do the complete opposite, and then they're like, they want you to believe in them without giving you any reason to believe in them other than, when they flap their gums, they say something you want to hear, but they don't do what you want them to do. No, a lot of these relationships are one-sided. And it's crazy too, because like people agree that there are friendships that are not healthy or that are bad, but then they act like romances are always great or good because so many men have trouble getting with a woman. So they try to sell you this idea that no matter who you get with, you'll live happily ever after. Like I said, 5 years of talking to chicks culminates in getting with the gold digger who acts really nice before you get with her, and then guess what happens? Give me money, give me money, give me money. That was the most anticlimactic thing I have ever seen. That's like it's red herring, but it also is subverting your expectation. Because again, all people would do is gash up about how great being with the woman was, and it was terrible. Oh, not all of them act that way. Well, hey, they're welcome to prove that. I've yet to see one come on here and say, "I'm so outraged at how this one acted. Let me show you a better one." That hasn't happened yet. Like I said, the two relationships I saw up close that were like between people my age and not like my grandparents or something were me dating a gold digger for a week where she begged me for money every day, and that guy that was with the dingbat with the baby that paid for her storage unit for a year just so she could curse him out, cheat on him, and have a kid with him that they can't afford. And then people wonder why I'm like turned off by this romance crap. The only time you see happy couples anymore is on Valentine's Day, where they are like, "Oh my God, when I got with my husband or wife 10 years ago, or 5 years ago, or 8 years ago, or 7 years ago, it's been so amazing ever since then, and they're the light of my life." And it's like, yeah, it sure would be nice if you said that some other day. Like them doing that is the equivalent of me talking about how much I love my mother only on Mother's Day. Like if she's so great and amazing and you love her so much, why do you have to wait until this one specific holiday to like broadcast this before the world on this website? Remember when relationships were supposed to be fun, like you're supposed to enjoy being with the person? Now it's some weird strategic simulation where you have to go to the gym and own a bunch of money and then like apparently still believe that the woman is not just going to be a gold digger that only likes you for superficial trash. I already told you, like, if the reason I'm able to refute this stuff is because a lot of the things they say are generalizations that don't hold up under scrutiny. Like, as in, if you go in the real world, you'll see couples that don't have the things people tell you to get with the woman with, and then they'll pretend it didn't happen because they want to sell their little narrative. Yeah, I would not be old enough. You have to be 35. That's still over a decade away. I could run for the house this election cycle, but I still have to figure certain things out. So maybe you can put 2022 or something instead. I mean, whatever. No, I just think it's sad. Like when I made the first video on this years ago, I really thought that like adults, like people that supposedly are supposed to be the most matured that the human race has to offer, would actually discuss this stuff in a what's it called, like a nuanced manner. But nope, just name calling and insults, and I feel like I'm in third grade again. Romance is just not logical at all. I mean, yeah, but people can still talk about it without being disgusting. Like the way some people write stuff to you, you think you killed their dog or something. Like it's really insane how toxic they are. For no reason. And like I would be maybe a little bit more understanding if let's go way of saying it. Like this doesn't affect any man at all. Like me just not wanting to talk to chicks anymore, but it's always men who have a problem with me not wanting to talk to chicks anymore, which I still think is incredibly weird. Like if somebody has had the same experience and they, I guess, sympathize or understand my position and they want to watch that, I get that. But as far as like men who think it supposedly is a bad thing to not want to talk to a bunch of women that don't care about them, I really don't get that. Like why it would bother you that somebody else says I'm good. If it's about chicks, they'll lose their minds. And like I said, the women don't care. Like there's a reason why you don't see women on these videos going, "Oh my God, why won't Justin talk to us?" Because they have plenty of men to go around and circle them like sharks, and I just don't need to be part of that. Those toxic people are just looking for a problem or just want to argue. People always they. I mean, that's kind of the thing about online, that there's somebody on here hates somebody. Like somebody, everybody hates somebody online. They always have a problem with something. I was on Twitter yesterday and I saw this one guy that said Infinity War and Endgame were bad, or like were badly written. I'm like, well, most of the reviews seem to be positive, and they were among the films that made the most money ever. So what I'm saying? Just people have a problem with everything. I would love to direct a movie that made the most of any movie ever, and like actually have people saying this is bad. It's like, well, if it's bad, why did it make the most money at all out of every film ever released? Because you know what they do is if they don't like a movie and it doesn't perform well, they go, "Yeah, this movie was bad. That's why it only made this much money." Because they did that with the 2016 Ghostbusters one with all the women. They're like, "This was a box office bomb. That's how you know it was bad." I'm like, well, again, like you have films that people say are bad that still make a bunch of money. I just think that's hilarious. Like It's like, you know, this movie's bad because it made so little money, but then all these other ones that you say are bad made a bunch of money. So, like, what are you talking about? I forgot the director's name, but he also said that the Marvel movies wasn't good. Well, he's talking about what, 50 plus movies. If we're talking about the MCU, that's 22. If we're talking about all Marvel movies ever, that's like over 50. So he'll have to be more specific. But like again, people trash everything. Like I know some people that I know a lot of people that say the DC movies aren't good. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That people have a problem with everything. So after a certain amount of time, their opinion doesn't carry weight to me. Probably because outside of Captain Marvel, I don't really have a problem with any of the MCU films. Oh, no, we're gonna talk about those on Monday. I can't wait because it's gonna tie back to this stream I did like a month ago. Just the way some of the fans act is really nasty to me. Not nasty, but just kind of irritating because it's like they don't understand that it takes time to make something. Like I think they actually got tricked by Infinity War into thinking that you can just snap your fingers and make this big change. I think it was Martin Scorsese. Well, again, people have a problem with everything. Is my point. Like you can go online and look up any movie, and if you dig hard enough, you'll find somebody doesn't like it. It's not even. I just consider the internet kind of a joke now. Like it has its purposes and its strengths. You know, I think you can use it to research things, and it's made learning certain stuff easier. But as far as taking people online seriously when they don't like something, I just whatever. That's the problem with the World Wide Web. Anybody can get on it, so anybody can write any kind of crazy crap they want. No, the one thing I like about the I've been criticized for everything video is that it's supposed to show you that no matter what you do, if someone doesn't like you, they just won't like you. And again, they'll, like when I don't like somebody, it's usually over the way that they act. Like I don't sit there and go, I don't find this man pretty, so he must it's stupid to me. But I showed that they cry about your voice, about your hair, about your face, about your shirt. It's like, come on, man. Well, yeah, because they're not even trying to. And what I think is really funny is out of the last 3 or 4 people I've banned, I've told all of them just go. I've given them the option to just leave voluntarily, and they stay. The guy that said I was mediocre for not getting with a woman or whatever, and all that trash, he stayed after saying I was mediocre, after saying that I took his comments out of context. It's like just leave. If I'm truly as bad as you say, why are you here? By the way, there's a guy that did a Man of like there's a 30-minute clip of this one YouTube video like movie reviewer, and him and his friend are playing some video game, and somebody in the comment section is like arguing why Man of Steel is good. I like the film as well, but they're talking about stuff that I don't really agree with. And when they were like refuting his points, he said, you're taking what I said out of context. And I was laughing. It's like, that's just what people do now. When somebody responds to them by audio and they're typing something and their point gets refuted, they say, well, you took what I said out of context. Like that douchebag from November literally said money is meaningless. And then I laughed at him for saying something as ridiculous as that when literally everything we do is pretty much operated by money. And then he goes, you took what I said. It's like you wrote in black and white, money is meaningless. Like anybody who types that is an idiot. And like you literally wrote this, I read it and then laugh at it and explain why it's dumb. And they're like, you took what I said out of context. That's just like the guy that when this one guy said, nothing matters, or like something. Yeah, nothing matters. Okay, well, if nothing matters, why are you typing on my video? If nothing matters, why are you still alive? Why do you feed yourself? You're straw manning his points. Like, he literally wrote nothing matters. Now, if he wrote something that was like, specific, such as sports don't matter, okay. Because like if I said that, you don't see any sports videos. From the way it looks publicly, I have no interest in sports, right? But he said nothing matters. So if nothing matters, then why do we need to hear his opinion? Isn't it? Shouldn't we not care? Shouldn't he not even bother wasting his breath? It's like, that's what I'm saying. They write this crazy crap, and then when it gets refuted or somebody disproves it, you took what I said out of context. Like, what? By reading what you wrote. It was too generic. That's why it was a contradiction unto itself. Again, it's just like that one commentary I used to listen to. Politics doesn't matter, and then he makes a political video every other week. What would I look like if I told you that video games don't matter, and then tomorrow I'm reviewing Madden? Or if I said video games are boring, and my stream tomorrow is me playing fighters, but World War III is going to start because, man, whatever, I don't care. I remember when the villain of the last Super Arc was a goat, Moro, and somebody said he was the goat, and when because they told me that's supposed to stand for greatest of all time, and they said he was he was the garbage of all time. He was the garbage of all time, the worst character in all of Dragon Ball. I agree. But yeah, people online that they act really crazy for no reason. Like, very antagonistic for things that I don't really get. They just say stuff that comes to mind is all. Never mind, it makes sense or any thoughts behind it. Yeah, like I had a guy in my comment section that wrote, what was that trash? Why were you trying to get a date in 7th grade? Shouldn't you have been studying? I'm like, don't sit here and play Boy Scout with me. You know damn well pretty much everybody, every straight teenager tries to get with someone of the opposite sex, starting from when they're in their adolescence. Let's not, come on. Let's not pretend. And then he wrote another comment. This guy might end up becoming gay over. Like, yeah. So my sexuality is controlled by somebody saying no to going on a date. Yeah, they act like villains. Like, seriously, read any book. What hero would go online and antagonize someone simply because they don't want to go on a date? Like, they don't want to talk to random women anymore. It has no effect on you, but it just infuriates you to such an extent that you start typing nasty stuff about that person. What protagonist would do that? Apparently, I did if I was able to pass. How did I get my diploma if I didn't study with pixie dust? Just sprinkled some magic, and teacher gave me it. Hey, I'm Scarlet Witch. I possessed the teacher to give me the to give me the diploma. Yes, if you don't believe me, I can go look for it in my email, screenshot it, and I think I still have your number. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, these people, like, that's why I said a lot of these men on here, they just type things that don't make any sense. I paid off all my teachers. Yeah. No, I'm Scarlet Witch. I possessed my teacher. Like, give me the piece of paper. Hey, my dad is Magneto. Unless I'm in an MCU film, then it's just some random Russian person. See, I can get college, but seventh grade. But this is my point. He's acting like a goody goody two shoes, as if people like as if young boys are like teenagers don't try to go on dates. Like I that's why I said I'm done with people online. They write things that are too stupid for my taste. Again, you can disagree, but let's not try to bend reality. That's why I can't take them seriously when they start giving all that generic advice. Oh yeah, go to the gym. It's like you're gonna sit up in this building that you don't even like and do this extraneous amount of work so that a random woman who, for all we know, could have never exercised a day in her life, will maybe go on a date. The juice is not worth the squeeze. Again, there's a bunch of standards for men, but no standards for women. They can be whatever they want. Go to the gym; it'll change your life. And I actually have like I don't know what it is about men online, like they're supposed to be straight, that like talking about the way another man looks. They're like, I think you have a 9 out of 10 face, but if you go to the gym, you'll have a 9 out of 10 body. Go. Somebody actually wrote that. Like, what the hell is wrong with you? Remember, go to the gym every day until you get with the woman, then you don't have to go as often. Told you, man, online will drive you insane. Like they will say anything that it takes to just deflect from criticizing the woman for her trash. Because, like I said, if you reverse genders, like again, if I agreed to marry somebody and then a few days later I reneged, people would say that was really ridiculous. If I told a woman she was too good for me, and then I was like asking her all this personal crap, and then she was answering. I told her, I'm so excited to hear my voice. And a few days later, I'm like, oh no, I'm good. People would say that I'd let that person on. If I told a woman, oh, I want to speak to you, and you mean something to me, but then I keep not missing my phone call, my scheduled phone call with her back to back to back to back to back. People would understand why she would believe I wasn't serious, like I wasn't actually interested in speaking to her. But like I said, since I don't have the magic taco, I don't get defended. I don't have people who understand my plight. Deflection is their delight. I think people online have really lost their minds. They just and my favorite part, right? And this is something I didn't mention in the video, and I probably won't because I wrote the script for it, is that you have some who will say, oh, if men didn't talk about not getting with the woman, that would help them if they didn't always think about their love life. Like, well, clown, a person lives 24 hours a day, right? How do you know, unless you're with them, how many times or how often they talk about this? Like, I want to know, how do they know how often? Because most men who have this problem don't make videos, right? So how would they know how often somebody talks about this? Like just a random member of that supposed romance group, right? And hell, maybe they didn't talk about this before they got sick of talking to a bunch of women that pretended to like them or let them on, and it went nowhere over and over and over again. It's just like when they're like, you can't get with the woman because you speak so disparagingly about them. Like, but you wouldn't speak that way if they acted differently. So you're taking the after effect and retconning it to be the cause. It's like, no, he does this in response to being treated this way. Well, since you're a guy, they expect you to be whatever that is. I don't use that stupid word ever. Because, like I said, if getting with the woman supposedly meant you were an alpha male, I wouldn't have proof that there are multiple women with boyfriends who still tried to talk to me. If the guy was so good, they wouldn't still be trying to speak to me. Right? If the man that these women with boyfriends was with was so good and such a alpha, whatever the hell, they wouldn't be trying to speak to other men, especially ones that aren't even with anybody. I would think. Like I said, you put that stuff up under scrutiny, it doesn't hold up. Very true. Strange how many chicks that have a boyfriend still try to talk to other guys. And I don't get it at all because, like, I could not fathom having a girlfriend that was not a gold digger, which I have yet to experience because that's how they act. Or some of them, I keep saying that because people like to, so he said, oh, I can't fathom being with a woman, but then still trying to speak to other, that doesn't make any sense to me. I think what it really is that they try to have, they know the man that they're with is not that good. So they try to have other men as a backup plan. They're like, okay, well, I'll date this person, but since I'm a pessimistic prick who can't commit, I'm gonna talk to these 2 or 3 guys in the interim, and then when this thing goes bad with him, I can exit ship, jump into one of them. Because they're not getting enough attention from their man. That too. Yeah, it's like the other thing you'll notice is they don't even tell you. Damn, I wish I had. You know what? No, because I can do another video with it. Remember the why do women with boyfriends like talking to me video? The one that was woman 2, right? The one that I wrote that message to. Again, this is before I found out she had a boyfriend. She asked me for a picture of myself, and I was like, "What the hell?" Because I didn't understand, why does some random woman who I'm not trying to get with, who I'm not saying anything sexual to, need to see what I look like? And I acquiesce because I'm not ashamed of the way I look. But my point is that's like a thing you would think a woman who is single would ask a single man that she's interested in, right? Because you know damn well if I had a girlfriend and I asked some random chick on Instagram, hey, can you send me a picture of yourself so I can see who I'm talking to? People would think that's a little strange, that's weird. No, if you don't believe me, I have the screenshot of that too. We got all her trash. I don't delete messages. We have a whole archive. The only time a message gets deleted with me is if the website goes down or if I change phones or something. Mm-hmm. It's just more red herring. Because that sounds like something a single woman would do to a man that she is possibly interested in, asking for a picture of himself. I agree with Megumi. Very weird. But like I said, if you actually sit there and try to figure out what the hell are these chicks doing, just with you or whatever situation you're in, you will drive yourself crazy because they do things that don't align with the stuff that they say. Remember the one that called me the Dear John letter writer, the one that called me a friend, and then after scheduling to have a call with me a couple of minutes later, sent me some weird curse out message, and then I waited a week for her to respond after getting that weird message, and she never did. And then she later admitted that she was purposely waiting for me to unfriend her after she said nothing. That's how you treat a friend, right? That's how a friend is rewarded. And you know I'm not making it up because you saw the screenshot. I was looking up. I was like, "What is this? What?" The in that same last call before that was sent, called me her friend, and then a few minutes later, I get this weird curse out message, and then ignores me for a week until I unfriend her. That's how a friend is rewarded. It was the same thing with the one that with woman two on Instagram on the why do women with boyfriends like talking to me video. She gave me her like let me follow her main account, her main Instagram account. I asked why, and then she said, "Oh, we're friends." And then a couple of days later, started ignoring me for the first of several times before I blocked her. Again, that's how a friend is rewarded. So I said when they call you that, don't even take it seriously because they will treat you. They will throw you out like an empty bag of potato chips right after calling you that. That's just a way to get you to lower your guard down so they can treat you like trash. Sounds like a dinosaur. No one is pure or perfect. Wait, who are you talking about? You don't have to be perfect to not treat someone like trash. I just think it's funny that the same group of people who will call you a friend will still treat you that way. Like you would think that someone you consider a friend you wouldn't ignore for a week until they unfriended you on a website, right? You would think that someone you call a friend you wouldn't ignore over and over again without giving them a chance to explain their position before they blocked you. I was about to say me and James are gonna have to argue. Imagine that really happened where there's just a stream of me and him arguing where he's typing something and I'm just screaming in my head off. Hey Megumi, have you had that happen before where some woman calls you her friend or like some kind of endearing thing and then just treats you in an awful manner? That's happened so many different times I've lost count. Hell, the first one I ever approached called me her friend for 5 years and then, hey, you want to go on a date? And then I got made fun of for, I guess, being into a classmate. I didn't realize that was a crime. I've been here too long to argue with you. Nah, that other user that argued with me was like, I've been here for 3 years and you can't ignore me. The thing that many people say paint chicks as a darling angel who do no harm to anyone and put on pedestals and such. I've come across people who have this belief. Oh, I see your comment. She transformed into a Super Saiyan and went berserk on you. Yeah, like I don't know what's wrong with them. Has it been 4 or 5? It's been enough. Because even if you don't say the friend thing, right? Like I told this story, and again, these aren't even like this woman too, right? And this person I'm about to bring up, these aren't even chicks I approach romantically. They just treat you like garbage after a while. Let me remember what I was going to say. Oh, this is the one where she told me in January she was going to send me a voice message, and then she didn't do it for like a month, right? And I forgot because a month went by. And then she did a video where she had her voice in it. And I was like, oh my God, she told me that she would send me a voice message. So I confronted her over it. And she was like, you're trying to make me. It's like, no, you said you would do this soon. Those are her words in January. And here we are a month later, and you still haven't done it. And in that same conversation, she said, oh, I don't have to say you mean something to me for you to mean something to me. And then the following day, as I was trying to like reconcile like a little poem I wrote out, she was like, oh, leave me alone. I will block you if necessary. And I didn't say anything because she said, leave her alone. And I got blocked anyway. So one day after saying that I was someone who meant something to her, she blocked me. That's how someone who means something to her is rewarded. Bipolar bastards. She went, well, she needed some Cybermen to pop her up. And yet, too many times, unfortunately, that's become like a cartoon to me. I mean, hell, the one that I was talking about that like what was it? Took 2 months to have a phone call. She called me a friend before as well. I consider you a friend. That's why you can't have a phone call for a sixth of a year. And admitted I wasn't asking for much and still wouldn't do it. I was there for her chemo and she cheated on me. I know one guy, he had this woman that had, was it sickle cell? And he quit his job to take her to get the treatment like in the morning. It's so sad. He took her to get the treatment in the morning after quitting his job, would spend the night over at the hospital with her. And then she was cheating on him with some guy on Instagram. That's what I said. Like, just, oh my God. You really can just do like you can bend over backwards for somebody and they will still do you just completely dirty. Hold on a second. No, you know what? I'm not even gonna put the mute on. Hello? All right. Bye. Oh. Oh hell no. Oh hell yes. And you know what? Because that person made a video with that and deleted it, I can't show it to you. So you just have to take my word for it. Because if that video still existed and was still up as like in a public domain, I would put it on here. I would promote it. I get the last laugh when, oh come on. I'm not about to sit here and say somebody should die because they did something gross. You were gonna blocked anyway if they say. Okay, let me read what you wrote. I'm over here burping. You were gonna get blocked anyway if they say they were gonna block you. They'll do it no matter what you do. But they're telling you to leave you alone. I will block if necessary. So you leave them alone, which is what they say they want, and you still get the punishment. That's like me telling somebody, don't exit the house from the back door or else I'm slapping you. They exit through the front door and I still slap them. Like you got the punishment, but you didn't do the crime. Again, the day before I got blocked, I don't have to say you mean something to me for you to mean something to me. They always try to make it seem like you matter to them. And then what do? They treat you like an empty potato chip bag, ball you up, throw you in the trash. Make it sound like talking to you is some great, what do you call it, pain for them. What do you want? I don't condone that, but it can definitely lead people to have vengeful thoughts such as that. I mean, it's not like he's the one that's making the that comeback. Like he's Mephisto. I just think it's so sad that they act the way they do. Because again, this stuff will drive you nuts. Just like I said, if you factor in how many times they say something that makes it look like they care about you. Damn, I just dropped all these back in here. It'll really get you to think. You can't, like, this does damage you to an extent. I'm not talking about mental illness, but just I don't trust them when they say that type of stuff anymore because I used to believe in their words and their actions did not befall their statements. No, their actions were not in sync with their statements. Nobody likes being put in that position, regardless of gender. Yep. But like I said, if you're the wrong gender like me, you get You don't get anyone to be empathetic or to try to understand you. That's why I'm coined that new term, built-in antagonism. And every video on this topic is going to end with that Spider-Man picture. So either way, I just can't win. No, it's just sad that people are this way. Because again, if a lot of times with these people, you really try to appeal to them, and they say that you do, and then they just like sit like the one that sent me the crazy message, the Dear John letter writer. The week before that was like begging me to speak to her, and I'm like, how do you go from in such a short span of time, please talk to me, we can get along as friends, to I don't think we should talk anymore because this is hurting you. It really does feel like a cartoon. Remember trying to get a date as like being Charlie Brown trying to kick the football. She keeps moving it out the way. Yeah, I'm probably about to get off of here real soon. Uh, like I said, just think about it, and you'll find all kind of instances where some woman tries to get you to believe that you mean something to her. So the one that said I meant something to her, the day after saying that blocked me. The one who called me a friend within an hour of saying that sent me some crazy message where she was cursing me out, and then ignored me for a week purposefully until I unfriended her because I wasn't going to put up with that trash anymore. The one who said she considered me a friend dodged having a phone call with me 6 times back to back after scheduling to have a call with me 6 times back to back. Yeah, if I'm so bad, why they talk to me? I'm still understanding because they come to you but leave you after 2 weeks. That's just what they do. Remember when it's I'm too good for her, and then like what 3 weeks after saying that and after asking me all this personal information, just vanishes. Well, why do I have to wear 99 different outfits for a stream? Like I don't understand. This ain't my damn job. And that's once per stream. Somebody wants to like talk about, pretend this is a fashion show. Oh yeah, that's the same one from that video you did. Making his reappearance. You know that's what the villains do in the comics, right? They make their reappearance. Like, remember me? I came to talk about something irrelevant. Yeah, with his name nobody can spell or pronounce. That's his trademark. Oh my god. No, James, has that ever happened to you where some woman tells you she likes you and then uh like does things that are antagonistic to that? Like she says you're her friend or you mean something to her and then she just throws you away like an empty potato chip bag? Like I can really name 7 or 8 different instances where that happened, including the ones I just listed earlier. I guess we have to do our Green Goblin quote, huh? Paraphrase him from the first Spider-Man movie. And they found you amusing for a while, these women that called you their friend. But the one thing women love more than a friend is to see a friend fail, fall, die trying. In spite of everything you've done for them, eventually they will hate you. Why bother?